How's it going, everybody? Welcome to another week and another video. Today we are at Biz Park, just like a couple weeks ago. We're back out and we've got a lot of the teammates. Psych is high. We'll see about 6 or 7 of us out here sprinkled in the field today. Real quick, let's go over some stats. My FTP is 283. Watts per kg is 3.9, coming in at 160 pounds. Race age is 33. You guys already know this. I do hate ranch. Super excited for this thing, and we're at another power hour, guys. Total duration 1 hour. Distance covered 29 miles. Average speed 26. Normalized power 284. If you guys watch the previous videos, this is way harder than one of the Cat 123 road races I just did. Needless to say, this course and just these relentless attacks just puts it on you. And obviously, this being a local ride for me, I feel way more comfortable on throwing it down and risking, potentially blowing up to cover an attack or to kind of test the fitness and maybe test the strategy as well. But again, like I mentioned before, we've got like 5 or 6 guys tonight. You'll see everybody in Newtype kits. I want to say that my normalized power that I did compared to everyone else was like low. So all the guys are up front doing a lot of work. It was great to see everybody out. We wanted to bring a good bit of our 4 or 5 riders out to work on just positioning, being close quarters with people, because they had a race coming up at the Hincapie where we'll also have that video coming out pretty soon. So be on the lookout for that. But without further ado, guys, we'll skip it ahead to the action. All right, we are just a few minutes in, and I have 2 teammates just up the hill, about 20 yards, and then I have 2 more just to my left right here. I'm following this bike gallery rider in the dark kit in front of me. I look up ahead. Oh, wow, we got 2 guys up there. Let's just see if they can roll away. So I do a little quick effort to catch his wheel in case he wants to drag me all the way back to my teammates. I will let him do that. But as soon as he starts looking around, I'm like, oh yeah, he's not pulling us back. So what do? I just move to the left, and anybody who wants to come through, I let him do that. And this really kind of sets the tone for the ride, gets everybody going, lets everybody know, hey, we're out here to go fast and cover moves. Slot in behind my teammate Nick and catch the draft down this hill. Just like a lot of breaks, nothing comes of this one, and eventually, a few minutes later, we're all back together. Pushing ahead, 10 minutes in now, and this is the first real heavy attack of the night. I'm sitting here chatting with a guy to my right, and then all of a sudden Chris Ames gets out of the saddle, and I'm like, oh snap, there goes another rider to the right, Josh Moore, and I'm like, I gotta go, baby. And 1100 watts, yeah, we're definitely going somewhere. Nick is covering that pretty well. I'm gonna slot in right behind him, and boom, now we've got 4 of us carrying a ton of speed up this hill. My heart rate is already spiked to 190. This is probably one of the fastest uphills of the entire night, running this thing at 29 miles an hour. Obviously it's early on in power hour, so we're super excited to get this going and kind of see where this one's gonna take us. This one hurt a lot. I know I have a really hard time with brakes and making sure I'm doing an appropriate amount of work, and as well as doing a lot of effort, not doing too much effort. But right here we have 3 guys in the brake, and to kind of just not be a bully, but to hey, I'm not pulling just yet, I let Chris Ames slot in front of me and take an extra pull real quick. The last thing I want to do is blow up 10 minutes in. But quickly, if you guys are enjoying this video, really appreciate it if you like and subscribe, share the video, maybe just drop a comment in with a thumbs up. Really helps the YouTube algorithm, all that jazz. But now I'm looking behind me. You can see all these other riders rolling through. We had a couple other people join the party, and sure enough, Here comes the rest of the peloton. 1,100 watts, 29 miles an hour up the hill for nothing. That's how it's going to go all night. Again, if you guys aren't familiar with the Biz Park, we're doing peanuts all night. It's one big downhill right here into a gradual uphill. All right, we're pushing ahead to 20 minutes in, and my buddy Jose on the right here is putting in an attack. Josh Moore's going to follow his wheel, and all day today, I'm trying to be Josh Moore's shadow and follow him. Right here, white jersey, black bibs, puts in a big dig up this hill, and this is kind of a great spot to attack on this course because it's not too steep of a kicker, and you can carry some momentum up here, and it's a good time. Josh flicks me through. I'm trying to do what I can, keep the pace high, and keep it going. We get a decent gap here, and this actually sparks a like 4-man break. We got Jose coming back through, who initiated that. We're skipping ahead in the lap. Don't want to bore you guys with a bunch of long, boring footage. But now you can see the 4 of us that have been established in the break, and we've been starting to do a good rotation. And we kind of stay away for a good, lap and a half, and really make this thing work. I am trying my darndest to make sure I can stay in the draft. My heart rate's up there again, but I'm feeling really strong. This first part of the season, I feel like my training has peaked in the perfect time. I've been doing Trainer Road. I started a build plan all the way back in October and finished at the first part of February. And now that I've got 2 full race weekends under my belt and 1 more next weekend to wrap up the Hincapie Spring Series, I'm feeling really good. It's nice to race with the P1-2s at the very beginning and go from there. All right, skipping ahead a little bit. With our break, we got brought back, and all of a sudden we get countered by, who guessed it? This gravel bike. This guy on this gravel bike is hauling butt and does a great freaking counter. He's riding like at least 38C tires, and he's got one of those Leaf front suspension forks on it, so throws in a mega watt bomb to do a break. Doesn't go anywhere. We reel him in about a half a lap later, but it was super fun to see that. All right, we are kind of coming into the tail end of this ride now. We're 45 minutes in. Here goes Jose on the left again. Josh is going to follow him. What I tell you, I want to be Josh's shadow all night. Put in a 900 watts right here on the downhill. We are trying to bridge up to 2 riders in the front, and I believe they're my teammates. And so what am I trying to do? I'm not trying to chase my teammate, but hey, if I can catch a free ride on Josh's wheel, well, there's 600 watts. That's not too free, but I mean, when Josh wants to go, you have to be ready to sell out for it. And at the time, I didn't realize it was my 2 teammates that were up the road. I was a little bit further back in the group trying to recover. And now that we skip ahead, we're up the road, and I'm with my teammate Michael now. And I realized, oh, snap. Now that we've caught the break and we kind of roll off the front unexpectedly, I'm with my teammate. I'm like, oh, this is perfect. We can try and work together. But you hadn't seen it, but throughout the first part of the ride, Michael did a ton of work on the front to bring stuff back, keep the group together. And we weren't really doing like structured team tactics tonight. So he would kind of chase stuff back here and there. And he just told me he was cooked. So a lot of effort for no reward. That's what happens in breaks sometimes. You put a lot of work in, you get cooked. Moments later, after we get drawn back in, Chris Ames right here in the gray and yellow does an attack, and I'm really hurting on this. Teammate Nick does a great job filling in, chasing that down, and the teammates in front of me do a good job of just keeping a good steady tempo up this. I was really, really hurting on this one. My heart rate's kind of staying a little lower, but I'm feeling it. Yeah, just multiple times during this ride, over 600, over 700 watts all night long. Well, here I go following Josh Moore again. Those guys, Chris Ames, a couple other riders, they actually rolled off the front at the top of the hill, and you can see their blinkies up in the front cam. And Josh Moore just lays down another freaking bomb, and I do everything I can to get on his wheel. And I'm super tired right now. And we catch up to these 3 riders. 2 of them are my teammates, and I don't really I'm not trying to close this down too fast or too crazy. And what do? I kind of let a gap open, and Josh Moore just gives me the 1-2 punch and throws down another bomb. And this one, I mean, had me in the trenches to try and bring that back. Unfortunately, that break doesn't go anywhere, and guess what? We're all back together. With 2 riders slowly rolling off the front, I am probably a couple wheels back, and I start moving up right here to kind of get some more visibility. This downhill is really fast, and again, same card. Josh Moore goes in the downhill to cover it, but this time I know I have 2 teammates up in the break, and so all I'm going to do is sit in and enjoy this nice 400 watt, 200 watt draft going 34 miles an hour downhill. Needless to say, Josh is in every single move on this ride the majority of the time. And what do I do here? Again, I continue. I let him stitch this thing all the way up. I'm not going to chase my teammates, but we get together and I let them know, hey, let's keep it fast, keep the speed up, because we've got a little bit of a gap. And unfortunately, they had just done a ton of work throughout this hour-long ride, and nothing really came of it. We got reabsorbed by the peloton, and now, guys, we're skipping over to the final lap. There's probably 30 people left in the group when we started with about 40 or 50 riders at the beginning of the ride, and I'm rolling around to all the teammates. I'm coming downhill, riding past them, and letting them know, hey, let's get organized and try and get a lead out working. Well, what I didn't tell them at the beginning of the ride is I didn't really tell them where the finish line is, air quotes. And my teammate Michael is right there on the left, and he's just going straight to the front, and I'm like, no, we're too far ahead. Other teammate Jared is right in front of me, and I'm trying to talk to him too. It's just like, hey, slow down, easy, don't get too far in front. But either he can't hear me or is just super psyched, and he goes straight to the front to follow Michael as well. At this point, we are too far up. I don't want to be here. I pull off to the left. I let some other guys fill in, and sure enough, our guys are on the front, keeping the pace really high, but we still have a half a lap to go. You can look up at the track map. You can see where the finish line marker is, and we're just too far ahead, especially at this pace and doing this for an hour. So I kind of lay back and reset. I'm talking to my teammate Jonathan right here on my right, and teammate Nick is going to come up as well in a second. And I'm like, hey, let's just keep it simple right here. But this is the exact reason we wanted to come out here tonight and work on this type of thing, work on communication. So whenever we actually pay money for a race, we're used to what's going on. We're used to being in, high heart rate. It's super fast. Kind of unsure of what to do. We want to just work out these kinks really. And I'm telling them again, hey, we're good right here. Easy up, easy up. But they just keep charging. These guys are hungry. It was super fun to see. We have a slow up right here because we're too close to the front. Nick just keeps the power on and goes straight to the front. And now I'm third wheel, and we still have a long drag to the uphill kicker. And I'm just too far forward. Josh Moore right here is crowding me a little bit. He wants that wheel. I don't blame him. I'm kind of glad to give that to him right now because we're too far ahead. Well, Nick's blowing up, and it's slowing down. Well, Jonathan is behind me, my teammate, and I'm like, all right, let me box Josh Moore in and put in a big dig and maybe lead out one of my teammates as a last-ditch effort. Well, you guys heard me say it already. They've done a ton of work. Nobody has a snap except Chris Ames coming around me on the right-hand side right here like a rocket ship. See ya. So I pretty much lead him and Josh Moore out, and then we have a couple other riders come through as well. Lesson learned. It was super cool to have all the guys out there to work on this stuff, because we all normally, like, we're all training and doing our own thing during the week, and then on the weekend when it comes to some race days, like some of us, you know, them being Cat 4s or Cat 5s, I'm a Cat 3, we all don't get to race together all the time, especially, you know, this early in the race season. So it was super fun. I'll tell you now, I was freaking cooked, dude. I did my best to do what I could on a lead out. We learned a lot of lessons. Everyone had a great time. Again, if you're in the area, highly recommend checking this out. Other than that, guys, we got some more Hincapie Spring Series race analysis coming up. Catch you on the next one.